The feedback loop, a tool that every designer needs for every data-driven design that they will ever make. Why is this feedback loop so ever important? It helps you during the design of a data-driven concept to realize all the time how every single element of your design is interconnected, how they keep changing and how they keep changing each other. Every time when a design doesn't work well, the feedback loop will help you figure out where it actually goes wrong. Using the feedback loop in your design phase of your concept will actually help you improve your work at an early stage. In order to talk about the feedback loop, we first need to explain what is in fact data-driven design. In actuality, every service or app or website that uses data streams in whichever shape or form in order to offer you as a user a really good service, that can be considered a data-driven design. Spotify recommends music, Netflix recommends your next movie or your next series, and the navigation system scans all the available routes and then selects the one that is best for you at that very moment. That too is a recommendation. We will explain the feedback loop with the help of the recommendations of one of those built-in navigation systems in a car. So the feedback loop consists of 3 layers, and we will consider them from the outer layer towards the inner layer. We will start with the organizational context on the one hand and the context of use on the other hand. The organizational context, that is the context in which the owner of the service works. So in the case of a navigation system, that is for instance the road infrastructure, or data about the state of the roads, or data about traffic, or data coming from weather forecast institutes. That includes questions like, how current is this data? How reliable is this data? How much data is available? How much does this data cost? And how desperately do you need this data to make your design actually work? Now the context of use, that is the side of the user. The designers of navigation systems often still assume that we use a navigation system in order to know how we get to an unknown location. In that case, the context of use is, I don't know my way around. Now this context is not always correct, but we will get to that later. Let's now consider the 2 dots inside the loop. You have interaction qualities on the one hand and metrics on the other hand. Interaction qualities, those are the values that you would like to express in your design. A design can contain multiple interaction qualities. One of the values that works well in a navigation system is, for instance, trust. That means that your user needs to be able to trust your system. Another value could be efficiency. That means that your user gets the most efficient route from location A to location B. The system then looks for a way to translate those interaction qualities into metrics, into actual numbers and evaluations. For the context of use, I don't know my way around, a translation of that trust could, for instance, be the user can trust that the recommended route fits, that it works, the roads are accessible, and you will arrive at your destination. Data that you need to calculate that are things like what roads are available, how accessible are those roads, but also user data such as where is the user and what kind of transportation is available for the user. Metrics can be things like, has the user closed into the destination? Is the user following the recommended route or should something else be calculated? Did the user need to make a U-turn and how often? Things like that. Suppose I want to go to Amsterdam, but I have no idea how to get there. I enter the address into my navigation system and I drive according to the suggested route. Then I arrive at my destination without having to have turned 14 times. This means the user experience is successful. Now the system keeps track of this by measuring my location. That is the user data. At the same time, it analyzes whether or not I am still following that particular route. That would be the data analysis. And then it also indicates to me with a little arrow on my screen what my new location is and what my updated time is that I still need to drive in order to arrive. That would be the adapted output. Now, if everything goes according to plan, I will arrive at my destination and I will have had a good user experience. But if the context of use is different, then your entire design changes. For instance, in 70% of the cases, users do not use their navigation system in a context in which they don't know how to get somewhere. They use their navigation system in a context where they want to know, what time will I arrive? What is my estimated time of arrival? If your interaction quality in that specific context of use is still trust, then you also need other user data in order to translate that properly. You still need to know which roads are available, but now you also need to know things about the average driving time. How long did it take you yesterday to drive that particular stretch of highway, or last week, or on a Thursday morning last year around this time of the day? And then you don't need to know how long the delay on that particular stretch of highway is the moment you leave home. You need to know how long the system thinks it's going to be the moment you arrive at that particular delay. Then the prediction suddenly is a lot more complicated. Now, the first time that I drive that route on a Thursday morning during rush hour, then my navigation system can be wrong. I'm lenient that way. But the next time, I would like it to remember, last time this user arrived 33 minutes later than I had predicted. That is user data. That is not good for trust. That is the interaction quality. So that means I need to include this wrong prediction in my metric, historical data about this particular stretch of highway, so that I can make a better analysis, data analysis, so next time I can make a better prediction, adapted user output. That will all result in a lot better user experience for my particular user. And that is all because the context of use changed. All these examples can also be applied to Spotify or Netflix or news or any other service based on recommender systems. To summarize, the data-driven feedback loop is essential to every design. Using the feedback loop will help designs connect better with the context and the user that they were intended for. The feedback loop also helps designers to formulate explicitly what it is that they're trying to achieve with their designs. That will help prevent mistakes, and it will create an optimal user experience.